Hey friend, in this tutorial, we are going to be painting some really cute, fun mushrooms. So instead of your more natural woodlandy vibe colors, we're going to be doing more of a contemporary spin on some really cute mushrooms. And I'm going to be talking a lot about color theory and color combinations and why I use contrasting colors sometimes or why I don't use them. So if you're curious about all of those things and want to learn, then let's dive in. Okay. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to paint some really cute mushrooms, toadstool mushrooms. And the approach that we're going to take today is mostly focused on color combos because I'm going to do 9 different mushrooms in colors that really correspond really well together. I already have a color palette in mind and I really want to highlight some bright, poppy, original colors that you just are unique for the setting, which is mushrooms. So you wouldn't typically see these colors for mushrooms. I'm going to be using my size 6 brush from Princeton Heritage 4050 series in this whole video. Of course, all of the supplies that I use in all of my videos are always linked in the description below, so make sure you check them out. They are my go-tos and my favorites, this being my all-time favorite brush. So I'm going to mix up a corally red for my first mushroom, and you might be thinking, well, that's not so atypical for a mushroom. Like sometimes they have, like Toad from Mario Kart has a red top. Well, the orange is going to make it a little bit more contemporary and different, and the colors that we use in the rest of the mushrooms are really going to make it feel more modern, more fun and loud, and more not off the wall. It's not going to be so punk rock, but just a little different, you know. So Scarlet Lake already has a orangish undertone to it. It is red, but it has a slight orange undertone. So I'm only going to use a little bit of cadmium orange to make it a little bit poppier. You can even add a touch of pink. I have Opera Rose for my pink that I definitely need to add more of in my palette, but I just need a little bit. And you can stick with that mixture, or you can also add just a touch of white gouache. If you don't have white gouache, don't worry about it, but this is giving it this like more creamy salmon color. So a little bit more, there we go. Get it to the mixture you want, and that's about right for what I want. I'm gonna use about a 35-45 degree angle hold on my brush for the mushroom top, so about 45 degrees-ish away from the paper, so that I can use a slanted hold. And I'm basically just gonna outline whatever dome shape is tickling my fancy at the moment. So for this first one, I'm just gonna do just a little arch. And then I'm just outlining the top of the mushroom and filling it in. You wanna make sure at this point that your watercolor or your pigment on your brush isn't so thick that it's got this dry texture, so you might need to dip your water or brush in your water. And I also love this fading as we're coming across the mushroom top. So adding some water and lightening your color a little bit here and there is always a good idea. You can also lift up some color using a dry brush. I just like that it creates some dimension and movement. Then I'm going to use the same color back edge of the mushroom, but I'm only going to outline and make sure to leave an open space towards the middle of where the stump of the mushroom will be. And then, because I love the way Wet n Wet looks, I'm gonna mix up the color for the stump of the mushroom using yellow ochre, a touch of burnt umber. And if you don't have white gouache, you can just use a lot of water in your mixture with yellow ochre and burnt umber to lighten it. But if you do, highly recommend adding a bunch of white gouache to your yellow ochre and burnt umber mixture. It's just a little bit of burnt umber. And then you have this like skin tone color or this off-white color that is gonna be used for the stump. And I'll go in while that red is still wet because I think that bleed looks super magical and fun, and these mushrooms are magical creatures. And we're going for quirky and like really cute here. So, you know, having a really fat bottom for the stump, or really tall and skinny. Well, we might do tall and skinny for some other ones. Just making it as cute as possible. And then I can go in with more burnt umber. Add it a little bit more to some of that mixture, and then just kind of accentuate the beige. The beige of that mushroom.
The beige.
And shadow part up here because I don't know if it's called a hood, but it's hanging over the stump, so there might be a little bit of a shadow on the mushroom.
Beige shadow mushroom.
Yes. There we go. We're gonna wait for that red part to dry, and we're gonna add some dots on that little mushy, and we're gonna add in the gills, which I guess are the little bleep 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 bleeps inside there. They're called gills. Who knew? Next, we're gonna mix up another fun color. So red and green are complementary colors, contrasting colors, whatever you want to say. They're opposites of each other on the color wheel. The color wheel is always a great reference for when I'm picking my color palettes for any type of painting. It doesn't matter if it's mushrooms or if it's flowers or landscapes. I do have a bunch of color theory videos on this channel and a color wheel video as well, so we'll link to those so you can check them out if you struggle with color theory and color combinations. But I want to, right from the get-go, evoke some sort of contrast or pull people in because of that contrast. So red and green are contrasting colors. I don't want it to feel Christmas, so I'm not gonna do sap green by itself or just like a mid-tone, you know, traditional green. So I'm gonna do like a dark.
So much drama. Maybe the most drama this channel has ever seen.
So I've got a touch of Prussian blue, a lot of sap green, and a lot of Mars black. I want like the darkest hunter green you've ever seen in your life, because this dark moment is gonna accentuate some of the lighter moments that I'm gonna do with like some turquoise and neon pink and stuff. So we're just gonna, right from the get-go, get really dark and high contrast against some lighter colors I'm gonna bounce in here. And I'm gonna switch up the shape of my arch. So maybe I'll curve inwards and do like an S curve and make this guy really like tall and skinny and more like a bell shape. See how dark that is? That's so nice. And again, making that moment where it gets a little bit lighter on one of the sides is always fun. Feeling like this guy's gonna be tall and skinny all around, so we're just gonna do a really skinny stump, like that. And making sure to really clean off my brush, and maybe dip and wash off in the warm water too, because the stump color is a little bit more of a warm tone, so I don't want to add green to it. If there's any traces of green on my brush. Tall, skinny.
Cute.
Cute is a word for it. Tall, skinny. And some brown. Like so. Hockey docky. Now that we have contrasting colors, I want to introduce more of an analogous, closer to my green color. So if you don't know what the word analogous means, think of it like this. The word analogy. You say something that's similar to something else. So an analogous color to this green would be something like yellow-green, or yellow is 2 hops away from green. Well, depends on the color wheel actually, but it's much closer to, or it's neighboring to this color than something like red and green, which is direct opposites on the color wheel. Again, we'll link to the color theory episodes we have on this channel here. So I'm gonna do like a slight yellow green with lemon yellow deep and just a barely there touch of sap green. And we're gonna do a similar shape to this one, but taller. So I've got this rainbow shape or C curve. I want more yellow, less green. So it's like a golden green, golden yellow, I mean. There we go. So these two colors are contrasting each other with dark and light. These two are actual contrasting colors. The hue themselves are contrasting. So lots of different ways you can add elements of bright and contrast. Stumpy. So we've got our two stumps on these guys curving to the right. So maybe this guy will curve on the left to switch it up. And maybe he's just like really short and sweet. Next, I might do something to pull in more of that green. So we're moving it down and it's not just heavy contrast with red and green up here, but we're introducing a new type of green and a new color. So turquoise has an element of green in it, but it's mostly blue sometimes. Manganese blue. I want it to be soft. I don't want it to be too loud because it's already a nice poppy loud color in itself. So I want to bring in a subtle element to it by lightening it. So you can lighten it with water if you don't have white gouache, or if you do have white gouache, then just add a bunch of white gouache to manganese blue or whatever turquoise color you have. And I'm going to do this like umbrella shape for this guy. So in love with that color. It is so gorgeous. My goodness. And voila. Voila. He's a little chubby guy. There we go. And then on that same vein, we're pulling out more blues, introducing more blues into our situation. I'm gonna do this like pale periwinkle color. So I'm gonna use cobalt blue, lots of white gouache, which if you don't have gouache, just use a lot of water to lighten it. Cobalt blue by itself kind of already has a purple undertone, but I'm gonna make it a little bit more purple with, what is this?
Ultramarine violet.
Thanks, John. I rarely use purple because it's not my favorite color, so I forgot the colors names. So let's do, I'm not gonna want to stack tall and skinny, short and round and fat, because that will get too repetitive and people will want to pair them up. So let's do another shape to the side. Wow, these colors together, the stump color and the soft blue, is like making my eyes cry. My heart, my eyes.
The heart of my eyes.
Okay, now let's brighten these little suckers up because this second row here is getting a little too soft. Let's get some punchy color in here. I'm digging around in my Opera Rose because I have like very little of it left. But you want to get a lot of that color on your brush. And we're gonna do a tall and skinny. Or little like teepee situation. Color it in, color it in, oh, color it in. So obviously by themselves, as we're working our way down, this would be so cute to hang up in a house as a little print. Or you can use these guys and paint a little whimsical woodland forest scene. You know, we have a bunch of tutorials on this channel for leaves and trees and things, so combine what you've learned and paint a cute woodland scene with these fun contemporary colors. Or a greeting card, or whatever, you know, whatever floats your boat. Okie dokie. I'm gonna pull in another yellow green, but in between these two colors to pull that down here. And then we're gonna pull in some more of that red, but a little different down here. And then we're gonna anchor it with another dark color, probably a dark blue, really dark blue. Lemon yellow deep and sap green, but a little more green this time, maybe actually some turquoise for a brighter green. That's nice. Okay, now I'm gonna introduce a slightly more orange red, because yellow and red, the in-between color of those two colors is orange. I don't want it to be straight up sun-kissed orange. So I'm adding some Scarlet Lake and some Opera Rose to it, but something similar but different. But you see how this would be a completely different piece if I was using more muted colors or softer, just soft colors like these. And so color really makes the whole piece completely different. And it's all based on the look and feel that you're going for. This is going to be a very fat chub stump. Which is cute. Love those bleeds. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and fun. Okay, so final color. This is our only super dark anchoring color, so I'm going to bring in a really dark blue using Prussian blue. Lots of it, and lots of Mars Black. So midnight blue-ish. Let's see where that's at. That's nice. Dark and magical.
That's a deep, dark, magical color.
You got that right, Jean.
Wow. It's like I could just jump into outer space.
Don't do that. That sounds terrifying.
That's the perfect outer space color, though.
Mm-hmm. Now for the stumpy stump. Fantasia. I want to watch that movie now. I bet Miles would not be into it.
I was thinking the same thing.
All right, now we're ready for the gills and the spots, because that's another thing with these colors. You can do all white spots on these mushies if you want. But on some of these lighter colors, white won't show up and you might not have white gouache. So this is another area where you can add a fun element of color combos. So I'm going to use the same color I did for the tops of the mushrooms for the gills. And I'm going to want to start with the corner of the stump on each side and pull it out at like a 45-degree angle, and then I can fill in the rest. And then I'll do this one since they're kind of...
Mushrooms are kind of an adult food, aren't they?
Yeah, kids don't really dig the mush.
I didn't, but now throw some mushrooms on a pizza, all about it.
I love mushrooms on most anything, most things.
Have you ever gone mushroom hunting? That's a thing.
It is?
Yeah.
What?
I'm pretty sure I'm not making that up. For like, what are those mushrooms called? Morels?
I'm not mushroom savvy. Just eat them. I know the benefits of a lot of nutritional mushrooms, like lion's mane and chaga and reishi.
And what are they?
Well, lion's mane is really good for your nervous system and your brain. Chaga is great for your immune system, and so is reishi. Reishi is like the queen mushroom. It's a really funky looking mushroom, actually. Drink it in my teas and chaga tea as well. Chaga is the one that also gives you a boost of energy. I think that's the one too. Dark blue. But mushrooms in general are very good for your immune system.
Important in these times.
Sure. In all times.
In all times.
Should be boosting your immune system in all times. It's the best of the times and the worst times. Whoops. What book's that?
I mean, like an absolute classic.
Tale of Two Cities? Twin Cities? Two Cities. Tale of Two Cities?
I mean, it's shameful we don't know this.
I think it's the Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. I didn't really read books when I was in school. I read Cliff Notes. I love reading now, but your girl was not a very good student.
And I had a feeling it was Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens. Okay, I'm going here.
Tale of Two Cities.
I was right. No need for the Googles. That's what our commenters are for. Too.
Yeah, that's true. Our commenters are smart.
Sometimes they're like, no, you're wrong.
No, they're mostly very kind.
99% of the time they are kind.
I'll give it a strong 99.
99 problems, but a troll ain't one. Okay. All right. So now we're going to add the spots on these little mushies and call it a day. Same thing with what I talked about, overall color theory tips. We want to think about where we can add contrast in very straining, bright ways, but then in more subtle ways. So like on this light blue, I could add dark blue spots, or a contrasting color would be orange. So what's the overall feeling that I want to go for? I think adding this orange color to it would be a fun, like contemporary, playful color palette. So I'm going to do it there. And then maybe on the turquoise, I'll do dark blue since we have two options of these lighter blues. So I'm going to grab that orangey, reddish, corally color for my spots. Again, I'm still using my size 6 brush. And you can do spots all over, or you can just do spots on one side. Totally up to you. I might just do some big overall spots.
The spots are really gonna get fun here. I can feel it.
Can you?
Yeah.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Hold on. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. I started a little too low. Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
I'm really looking forward to these.
You're really excited about the spots.
I'm really excited about them.
Did I say excited?
You said excited.
You said excited. Okay, those are cute. Nice little pepperonis. Next, dark blue it up. You obviously want to make sure that all of your mushrooms are dry at this point. Otherwise, your spots will become very mushy. Mushy, mushy. Still contrast, but with light and dark versus the hue.
I could see maybe in different colorways this being really fun for even some fall paintings. This is a little bit of bright vibes.
Bright vibes, but you could do more muted fall color palette, woodsies. Okay, moving right along to this one. I guess we'll stay in the same row. Pink, similar to red. Contrasting color is going to be green. So we could do this like bright green here and tie that in. However, this is probably not going to show up on this dark of a pink. So I might do some really subtle contrast with red. So we've got really bright and dark contrasting colors with orange and blue. So maybe we just do kind of monochromatic with this one with some Scarlet Lake and a touch of Opera Rose, but mostly Scarlet Lake. Love how subtle this is.
It's so subtle.
It is subtle, John.
It's really subtle.
It's subtle.
It's a good subtle.
Subtle, 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 muddle, fuddle, duddle, wuddle,
Ooh,
puddle.
Fox in box.
Socks.
Dang it. What was I
Jeez.
thinking?
I don't know.
Knox in box and fox in socks. Duh.
Beetle, puddle, paddle, battle.
A beetle battle in a puddle.
Beetle.
Bottle with a poodle eating noodles.
We're parents, okay? Any other parents? Shouts to my parents out there who
Shouts.
also know the rhymes in that book, the Dr. Seuss book. Beetle, paddle, puddle, battle, battle in a bottle.
Luke Luck licks legs.
Likes lakes.
Dang it. Man,
I think they do say licks at one point.
yeah, they're licking the lake.
Oh.
They are. That's what the picture is. They're like bent over.
Yeah, how weird.
Moving on.
Moving right along. Dark green. I like this monochromatic moment right here, but then these would be stacked and they're also monochromatic, so not gonna happen with my OCD. So what we're gonna do instead for this guy is let's pull in some red and green, contrast it up. Let's do that red so we're not right next to each other.
This is a little bit of a Christmas room.
Sure. A little bit of a Christmas room. If you don't Christmas mushroom, if you don't want a Christmas mushroom, you can do a different color, like this dark green. Why didn't I do the dark green? Oh yeah, because, okay.
Are you gonna use these mushrooms?
Yeah.
For whatever.
Mm-hmm. Probably some like kids product line.
These would be sick pajamas.
Exactly what I want to do with them.
Like, if Miles were wearing pajamas with these mushrooms on them, that would just be adorbs.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Miles in pajamas, story time?
Sure.
just got the little homie some awesome Woody and Buzz Lightyear pajamas. And he refuses to wear them.
Yeah.
Like he hates them. Like in the store, he loved the idea of them, and then when it comes time to put them on, he won't even try.
He won't.
Makes me sad. Because he'd be so cute. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Light turquoise. To bring this in, switch it up, do contrast with the blue and the red, the blue and the orangey red, but really light so it stands out. If you're using watercolor only, you might want to think about a darker color, because to lighten your blue, you'd have to add a lot of water, which would be too transparent and see-through on top of this darker red color. So you'd probably want to do a darker spot color.
We have this gouache in your Amazon store, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm obsessed with it now. I'm obsessed with gouache. I used to be like, ew, no, I would never use gouache.
Why?
I don't know. I wouldn't say it like that.
Just alone painting in your office? Ew, no.
Ew, no. Never.
But there wasn't a reason?
No, just wanted to be a
purist.
Purist, that's the word, not traditionalist. Cute, cute, cute. Now this dark blue, maybe we'll do a really pale pink.
Oh, that's the call.
Opera rose and lots of white gouache. So again, if you're just using watercolor, you wouldn't be able to do a light color on this dark blue. It wouldn't stand out enough. So maybe do another monochromatic moment with an even darker blue, which at that point just use black for spots. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is such a dark blue, we're accentuating that with our really light pink. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Hold on. Hold on.
Boom, 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 boom.
I'm in the air tonight. Hold on. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Okay. We should do a compilation of our most embarrassing camera moments.
Yeah.
That being the top one.
It's up there.
Hey man, we're having fun. Just
Silliness.
Relax.
You just assume people hate it.
I do.
A lot of people will enjoy it. Some people will have already turned the
If I were
video
watching
off.
myself and you do this, I would probably I wouldn't comment, but I would just be like, ugh. Oh, you're so annoying. Okay. Yellow. Okay. Yeah, yellow. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, what are you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna do this dark green because I want to bring that spot color, another dark spot. Another dark spot, another dark spot, another dark spot. Make sure that you tag me in your practice. I love seeing when people are working on something that I'm teaching. And with the way things are virtually, I used to teach a lot of in-person workshops, so I could, obviously see how students were doing from a tutorial, because I was right there. But now I don't get to see all my students' work, so unless you tag me and post about it. So do that. Do that. Or don't do that. But please do that. Okay?
Do that. Should we give people a challenge?
Of what, John?
I don't know. It's just a good old-fashioned challenge. Like, well, you continue on your mushroom.
Thank you. All right, so green, so dark. I'm gonna do like this very pale, not even very much there, light blue, white gouache, and a touch of blue. Again, this is creating a lot of contrast, so it becomes more obvious. The dark of the green becomes more obvious, you know?
It's a mushroom challenge, you know? What's a good mushroom challenge for everybody that's painting out there?
Eat.
No, painting. Not a food eating challenge.
You have to eat 15 mushrooms a day. I don't know, John. I'm very bad at coming up with challenge ideas.
Who can paint the most mushrooms? Someone takes it super seriously and there's just like
millions.
I spent all day and all night.
I spent my entire life painting mushrooms because this free YouTube video I watched told me to make a challenge out of it, and so I did.
Okay, who's gonna do it?
Okay. No, I didn't get paid for this.
What did you win? What did you win?
I didn't win anything. It was just somebody told me to do it, so I did it. We're obviously pretending to be the person who did this. Okay, last but not least, mushroom number uno. I'm gonna use this light pale pink for another monochromatic moment, but we're just flipping and flippity floppity floop.
Can I make an observation?
Yes.
Interesting that you're ending with the one that you started with,
Mm-hmm.
but you specifically needed to do wet on dry. You would maybe assume that this would have been the first one to get the dots.
Sure, they were all dry when I started. However, this was the most exciting color combination to me, so I was most excited to do that one, and therefore I jumped the gun on starting point, because now I have to twist my arm all in a weird way so I don't get it wet. So this would have been much easier.
Now that it's all almost said and done, what's the most exciting color combination?
This one for sure.
Still.
Actually, I really like that one too. Well, I like that one too. I also like that one.
Okay, you're really not getting the concept of the favorite color combo here, because you just pointed out half of them. If you had to choose one for the rest of your life, what color combo?
See, that's just not even an option because it's my life and I get to choose how many I want.
It's just a game, Jenna. Just pick a mushroom.
I think my favorite is actually probably one of these.
Middle
This
left,
one.
Middle. Oh, really?
What? That's not your favorite?
That's
What's your favorite?
not what I would have picked for you.
I really love this one, mainly for this base color.
The middle one?
But I think this one's really cute. Why? What's your favorite?
I really like numero uno.
Yeah, that's your traditional. You know, you've seen it more because of Toad.
Yeah, I like numero uno. I like numero dos.
I also love the bleeding that happened on
The
this
bleeding is great on that one. There's no debate about it. This has been an 52 minutes.
one. Okay, goodbye everyone. Thanks for watching. See you later. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments below which of your color combinations was your favorite out of the ones that I showed you. Maybe it was the same one as me or the one that John liked, the top one. So hit me up in the comments below. Would love to know what your preference is. And I hope you had fun as always. Thank you for watching these videos, for subscribing and commenting. It all makes a difference and means the world to us. And also shout out to our Patreon channel, because if you want to watch these videos ad-free and get access to them a day early, we have a tier that is as low as $2 a month where you can get ad-free videos, all of our YouTube videos ad-free and a day early. We also have multiple other tiers where you have exclusive tutorials that we don't share anywhere else except for on Patreon. I also go live monthly for my Patreon top tier people to do some live art classes. So make sure you check out my Patreon. We have a great, thriving art community there. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.